This is an exclusive excerpt from the Stuph File Program with Peter Anthony Holder.
Now that we're into February and spring is just around the corner, there are some sports fans who pine for the pine tar. Baseball is awakening, both in the major leagues and in the minors. There is a team that, for the last few years, has been getting some major buzz. It's the Savannah Bananas, whose organizational mantra is fans first, entertainment always. Joining us to talk about the team's success is Biko Skalla, the broadcast entertainer for the Bananas. He joins us via Zoom from Savannah. Hi, Biko.
Hey, Peter. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for being on the program with us. Now, first of all, the Bananas don't do everything or anything the normal way. Let's just start with your very title, broadcast entertainer.
Yeah, that was a title devised by Jesse Cole and John Chelsnick of the Sportscasters Talent Agency of America back in 2020, when Jesse was looking for his first real broadcaster position after he had had an intern the summer before and had never really had to put too much thought into the position before that. But they had been doing a very good job, sold out 88 straight games in Grayson Stadium before I came. And they wanted to be able to bring the fun and silliness and shenanigans of Bananas baseball at the time to an online audience. So he didn't just want a traditional play-by-play broadcaster. He wanted basically the biggest Bananas fan of all time, who is also the most knowledgeable fan, who can deliver some great play-by-play, but can also be able to make fun of themselves and have a ball and entertain more than anything, as you said at the top. That's key word in the mantra of the whole organization.
For those who haven't experienced the Savannah Bananas either on TV or on video or in person, first of all, shame on you, because there is the website, thesavannahbananas.com, so people can get a sense of what it's all about. But to the uninitiated, could one simply describe it as the Savannah Bananas are to baseball what the Harlem Globetrotters are to basketball?
It's an excellent comparison because, of course, we've taken baseball and turned it on its head a bit, and entertainment is such a key goal for us. The main difference is the game that's being played is a very legitimate competition between two teams who very badly want to defeat each other. So we've got dancing and the guys are trying to make tricks and bring joy and smiles to people and make lifelong moments for fans at every possible turn, but also are focusing a lot of their energy into collecting a W. And this past year on the 2023 Banana Ball World Tour, the two teams, the Bananas and the Party Animals, played 69 times. And in some unbelievable act of, I think we just balanced the teams terrifically, it came down to the 69th and final game, really decided the score. And the Party Animals, the arch rivals of our protagonists, the Bananas, actually came away with a pretty thrilling 2-1 victory. So they won the season series this past year.
Is it safe to say that not only are the Bananas an amazing entertainment focus, but also the team that they play is equally as entertaining, and also the umpire is very entertaining?
100%. No, you nailed it. I mean, there's a lot of people that come to these Banana Ball games that are Party Animals fans instead of Bananas fans. And there is an air of, it kind of like take me out to the ball game, root for the home team, but you don't really care who actually wins. People do care who wins, but at the end of the day, you've had an absolute blast. And all of the players and characters, like our dancing home plate umpire, Vincent Chapman, will all be outside the front gate, and you can get autographs, take pictures, share a quick word with them. They are very accessible. So these are former minor league baseball players, former D1, D2, collegiate athletes, or independent professional baseball players who are incredibly skilled and, as I mentioned, are very competitive, but also they're here to entertain. So they're going to be boogieing, and it's a dancing first base coach. We have the Banana Nanas, an elderly dance troupe, our cheerleaders, our dad bod cheerleading squad, the Man Nanas. We have a Banana Land magician. There's Princess Tapassia. There's a lot of bells and whistles surrounding a Banana Ball game. And even the guys who are playing the sport and officiating the sport will try and entertain whenever they can.
I understand you even have a pitcher who is on stilts.
Correct. Dakota Stilts Albritton is a magnificent story. He's from Ellaville, Georgia, a real small town. He has spent most of his life in the woods. He's has pet deer that will come in and live inside his house. I mean, he's really quite a character. And he came to our One City World Tour tryout back in 2021 before we had ever taken Banana Ball outside of Savannah, and would not have made the team if he had not had told one of us, hey, I've got some stilts in the car and I think I might be able to hit on them. Should I try that? And we said, you bet your bottom dollar you should. So he showed us that he could hit well on 4-foot stilts, and then he learned how to pitch. He learned how to place in first base. He elevated the stilts to 5 feet tall on this past tour, and he's just amazing. I mean, there is nothing that gets a bigger pop from the crowd, as we say in the business, and stilts coming out of the dugout. You get Jesse or Gillum, the head coach, out there saying, now coming to the field. And all of a sudden, people lose their mind because they can feel that Stilts is going to emerge from the dugout. You see thousands of phones popping up to get a video. It's pretty thrilling. But yeah, he pitches, hits, and fields, and nearly hit 300 in a small sample size, about 20 at-bats. But it's pretty impressive what he can do 5 feet high in the air.
Okay, we have to back up a second here. First of all, I remember back in the day when the Major League Baseball lowered the mound because of Bob Gibson and his dominance as a pitcher. So yes. a pitcher on stilts, that's one thing. And also, as a batter, he's quite the opposite of Eddie Goodell. How large is his strike zone?
It's enormous. It's enormous and a little abstract. But, because where his knees are on the stilts, it's kind of, he can't reach a bat down to the bottom of his knees. So in both cases, when he's pitching, it's an absurd angle. These guys who have played baseball their whole lives have obviously never had somebody pitching to them from about 10 feet, 9 inches in the air, which is where stilts is. But because he's so high, he can't produce an extreme velocity. He will throw sliders and breaking balls and try and mix it up. But in general, you're not going to get blown away. It's really more the craftiness of him. And same when he's at the bat, pitchers try and put some heat on it. But, we've got tons of guys who can throw in the mid to upper 90s. You're not pumping that to stilts because it's such a bizarre strike zone.
The team itself, they were founded as the Savannah Bananas in 2016, but the team itself goes back a little further, and it was just if I'm not mistaken, a Coastal Plain League team. How did it become the Savannah Bananas? And what was the aha moment that they said, we should take this team and do something completely different with it and see what happens?
Correct. Well, there's a really rich history of baseball in Savannah, dating back to, Grayson Stadium was built in 1927, and there have been a plethora of minor league ball clubs that called it a home between then and now. When the Savannah Sand Gnats left, the New York Mets single-A affiliate, after the 2015 season, the Bananas came in as a collegiate summer baseball team, as you said. So they were playing baseball in a summer league and adhering to the rules and regulations of said league, just trying to entertain at every possible moment outside of a legitimate baseball game. And during that 88 sellout streak that preceded the first ever Banana Ball game in front of fans in 2020, they would take pictures of the crowd, and every single night around the 2-hour mark, about 25% of people were leaving, no matter how good the entertainment was, no matter how good the baseball game was. Kids have bedtimes and folks have things to do. So that was the original inspiration for, you can't have the best hot dog in the world with just the best condiments. You've got to have the best hot dog at the center of it as well. So let's put a 2-hour time limit on it. First main rule of Banana Ball was concocted by Jesse Cole's dad, actually, Kerry, who is an avid golfer, and said, well, why don't we make it match style play, where if you win an inning, you get a point, and that eliminates blowouts. And all of a sudden, we were able to surround that with 9 rules in total, my favorite of which is if a foul ball is caught by a fan on the fly cleanly, it is an out. And all of a sudden, we had a goofy little version of baseball that somehow caught fire.
Was there a point where leagues started taking you seriously? In other words, when you first start this thing, it's kind of a mock-up to baseball. Did baseball players, the leagues, take it seriously? Or did they thought, well, these people are crazy in Savannah?
I think the, independent professional baseball leagues still think that these people are crazy in Savannah. I mean, we do a thing called Challenger games where on this past tour, the Bananas played 11 teams that were not the party animals. And these are all independent professional baseball teams for the most part. There was a collegiate summer all-star team from FCSL down in Florida, as well as the Major League Baseball Players Alumni Association played 3 games against the Bananas. And that was a very cool event as well. But besides that, it's all teams from the Atlantic League, the Frontier League, who are coming in. And these guys are in the middle of a grueling season. They all pretty much play 6 nights a week. And on their one off day, they now have to play our goofy version of baseball. So it's a mixed bag when we play those challenger games, and we're doing a lot less of them now because you just cannot control how entertaining the product is when you're playing an outside team that may or may not be in on the game. And we saw a handful of teams that, it was an exhibition for them. So they were hot dogging it and they were not giving it 100% effort. We also saw some teams that really bought in, tried some trick plays, made some trick plays, embraced it, and had a ton of fun. That's our dream for these challenger games. But yeah, there's still plenty of folks out there in, you could say the baseball purist world who look at banana ball and think of it as a joke, for lack of a better word.
As you say, these players have to be good quality players to begin with, but they also have to have something extra. What do you look for in a new player that's coming along who wants to play for the Savannah Bananas?
Yeah, on top of the most important thing, which is an incredible skill to play baseball, it's personality, really, because you can teach an amazing baseball player to dance. It's a lot harder to teach an amazing dancer to play baseball. It's a very difficult sport. You just want people who are going to be great for your culture and who are ready to buy in. I mean, we're going to see that this year more than ever before. We have really increased the talent level of the players. We have the most valuable player of the Pioneer League this past summer, Reese Alexiades, who has spent the past 3 years absolutely dominating the Pioneer Leagues for the Ogden Raptors. He's like the best example of a lot of these guys who have played independent professional baseball. We have a lot of former minor leaguers who have tried the traditional path and now are ready to still play a version of the sport they love, but also have the time of their life doing it. I mean, the classic thing with banana ball is these guys always say that this is the most fun they've ever had playing baseball, and that they feel like a kid again. Like, this is a kid's game, and it's so special to be able to make a living out of playing it and getting to goof around and just be filled with joy and play in front of over 1 million fans live this year. Last year, we played in front of over 550,000 fans live, had over 7 million people watching our broadcast online. There's something special in that, too. It really helps the atmosphere and the excitement and the stakes of all of it, because right now it is not a league yet. These are all still technically exhibitions, but these guys, because they're playing each other so much and they're so competitive, say that this is the greatest rivalry that they have ever been a part of.
Well, as you say, it is a kid's game, and it sounds like, and it looks like they're having a great amount of joy playing a kid's game, and most importantly, the fans get the great amount of joy too. So congratulations on that. Again, I urge people to check out the website, thesavannahbananas.com, just to see the videos. I thank you very much, Biko, for taking the time to be on the program with us.
Absolutely, my pleasure. It's been a blast getting to talk with you, Peter.
Biko Skalla, the broadcast entertainer for the Savannah Bananas. You can go to my website at thestufffile.com, check out the show number for this program, which is show number 0755, and you'll find the link to their website. I urge you to check it out. It's an absolute hoot.
You've just heard an exclusive excerpt from the Stuph File Program with Peter Anthony Holder. To hear any or all of the full hour-long shows, visit thestufffile.com. Stuph is spelled S-T-U-P-H. That's thestufffile.com. A presentation of Flying Fish Communications.